You've been on this show before, and we're going to see you on Saturday at Elimination Chamber. Going to get into that. But for you, when you hear that, when you hear about, you know, greatest of all time, Mount Rushmore, mentor, inspiration, like what comes to your mind when you hear those terms?
It doesn't sink in that it's been 25 years since I, debuted. And when I first debuted, obviously the expectations were low for me. So looking back and knowing that, like, and I think like there's like all these moments where when I do step away, that it sinks in, like the impact that, and I say we because like what the girls at that time, what we did, how it influenced the girls today, like if we hadn't done, fought hard for the storylines and for the longer matches, and to do punches instead of slaps, and suplex instead of hair beals, we may not have been, in the place where we are now, like to sort of like we had to fight for that back then. So it's amazing. And I think it was the 2018 Royal Rumble when I went back, and then people were kind of giving their dream matches, knowing that these past generation people would be coming into this Royal Rumble. And that's when it occurred to me that like, oh man, we really, I think it was like me and Lena were like, whoa, we really made an impact, because these people are like, I got into the business because, and I, I was inspired because. So that is really never lost on me. And also the fact that like, to be able to come in and knowing that I'm so blessed to like, and I've said this from the 2018 Royal Rumble to when I worked with Becky and Io and Bailey, and Dakota, to get in there, and then just to get in with the people that we've touched is very special. It's not lost on me how rare that is, first of all, and how special it is. So yeah, it's just amazing. And now to go back and like even Tiffy, like that's like we're doing like generation, then another generation. So that's even more special and pretty crazy.
Did you ever thought that when they offer you to be a professional wrestler, that you were gonna be so influential for so many generation of young women, in the future?
No, I mean, because there wasn't that place, right? There wasn't like a template for that at the time. It's like the
Hmm.
question I get asked often, did you always know you wanted, I'm sure you get this too. Did you always know you want to be a wrestler
Yes.
when you grew up? And like, maybe you might have had that chance. I think you're a little behind me, but you might have had that chance to
Yes.
see some stuff and be like, right? So to look at that stuff and be like, oh, I want to do that. But we didn't have that, right? We didn't have that, that thing in the ring to be like aspire towards. And we didn't see that place of something that looked like us to be like, I could see myself doing that. There really wasn't that. So we had to carve that in. And so once, and to be honest, like I said, I didn't know, because when you do it, you're so concerned with like, laying your own groundwork. And as you know, it's a phonetic pace as
Hmm.
you keep going. So you're just kind of like laser focused ahead on like trying to do better than next time, trying to, leave an impact, try and, not have maybe the impression that they thought girls could do. Let's do something. Let's elevate it. Let's elevate the expectations for a woman. And so you're so focused on that, they don't realize the impact. And it takes probably years to like retire, step away, go back to be like, oh, look at the influence we did and look how we touched people. And so it's cool now to hear, little girls saying, I want to be a wrestler when I grow up, because there wasn't that vocation when we were younger. So
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. And also I think what we're doing, like, I think it's neat when little girls are like, not that they want to be a wrestler, but they see a female making it in male dominated world, or making it in an industry that perhaps they couldn't have had the visibility in. So that's really neat as well. Cause it's like what the journey, the path is sort of applicable to different walks of life as well.
Looking at different phases of your life, you're a mom, your children, they go to school. What about like what that means to your children to see their mom being showcased like that?
Yeah, the cat got out of the bag a couple years ago who I was. I think my kids started school and I was pandemic year, so I was kind of like a little bit of this, no one could see
Yeah.
me necessarily. And then after over time, and obviously with more, appearances on television, little comebacks here and there, and then Canada's Got Talent, people are like, oh, that your mom is your mom. Okay, that's Trish Stratus. And it's funny because these last few weeks, as you know, I'm a mom, that super busyness. I run businesses. I'm super busy with life and with what I do. And then on top of it, it's like this other job of now being a superstar for, a few weeks. And so I had to like sit down with the kids and go, just to let you guys know, I'm going to be like super busy coming up. Like I'm going to be traveling here, and I'm going to be training and all these sort of things. And they got it. And they're like, we get it. And it's like, it helps that they get it. But Rogers Center is 60,000 people. It's a stadium show for Elimination Chamber.
Wow.
So it is pretty huge, to know like the last time I guess the last time I was there was WrestleMania 18,
Right.
so it's
Hmm.
really wild that like they're going to feel that, they're going to be a part of it. And like for me, I have to think like, it could be the last time I ever perform in Toronto. And it is actually the first time they're going to see me wrestle live, which is wild to me, because there was the cage match, and I couldn't bring myself to bring them. I just was like, I don't know. I mean, number one, it was also travel, all that stuff, but it was like, it's home, they're here, they can come, it's easier. But the cage match, I was like, I don't know if they want to see mommy get like, I was like, I could get bloody. I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, she's going to die. Like I didn't need them to go through that. But now I think this is going to be a great display of physical ability and athletic prowess, and I think they're going to appreciate that. So from that perspective in storytelling, there's a lot more of like stuff that they will like can get behind and cheer it, as opposed to me being a bad guy and getting smashed into the cage. I thought, let's. I just pictured Mick Foley's kids back in the day. That's all I could picture. And I was like, I don't know if they need to go with you that, So they didn't come to that one. So this will be the first time they're seeing me perform wrestling live, which that means so much to me. I'm super excited. And then it could potentially be the last time I'll do this in Toronto. So it really is. Really looking forward to it. So special.
Have you ever had to explain, sorry, David, to your kids any of the storylines, so they don't go online and be like, Mom, I find you on YouTube? Because I had to make some explanations to my son at one point. Have you had to do that yet?
Right? In particular, when you're a bad guy.
Yes.
Like my daughter would just look at me like with space, like a scowl, and be like, I didn't like when you did that. And just like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, that's my character, bitch. I didn't say that to her, but that's I have to explain it's a character thing. It's like, oh, I'm a bad guy and like that kind of thing. So I think they love that I'm getting cheered and I'm a good guy like right now. So that definitely. Also had to explain the STFU moment in my cage match. My daughter saw that. So there is that thing where I walked up to a fan and I don't know who took over my mouth at the moment, but Trish Stratus, the heel, obviously did. But like my daughter's like, and I'm like, what? She's looking at me like, she's like, I saw what you did. I'm like, what did I do? She's like, you said the F word. And I was like, wow. Oh. Yeah, I was really it really hurt me. Like I was like, wow, I didn't. My character did. Like she is really mean, So, but that's the reality, right? Like here we are. This is the world where they have access to it. You can't be like, oh, let's not turn on the TV or put on the tape for them to see that part. They're gonna find it, right? So, it is part of our reality, and they're cool. They get it. I did have to put some money in the swear jar though, but.
You mentioned that cage match. How proud of you were when it came to that cage match? Because, that was on the list for match of the year on everybody's poll. So how proud of you were when it came to that cage match?
Yeah, so proud. I was so proud of Becky and I. Like, I feel like we, because the storytelling was long. People at the end were like, oh, they're still going. You know what I mean? It got that extended time after the SummerSlam. We didn't do the SummerSlam. But we knew how important it was for us to we have to pay this off like big time, and deliver. It was something on a bucket list for me. Like I never got to do that just because it was nothing that would be offered to us back in the day. So like the fact that I was able to do one meant so much to me. I always wanted to do one. And I just felt like we just, just one thing we wanted to make sure we were like telling the story of like, I'm going to get the F out of this cage. Like, that's the story. Like, let's make sure that's the story. And I felt like we told the story, also told our story to where it needed to get to for the end of that, like finally getting, Becky getting her comeuppance on me. I was so proud, loved it. I was so in the moment. I was the STFU moment. I was so into it was the most into my moment that I've ever been, I think, just because of the storyline that got us there and what this moment meant for us. So I loved it. Watching back, I was so proud. I was like, yeah, we were very happy with that.
Why did you choose to come back? I get the Royal Rumble. It's awesome. It's a great moment, but now you're back more of a fuller time. Is it because of Toronto or just why?
I think it was like, talking to the writers, I think they might have me back every week if they could. I talk to them often. We keep in touch. And if there's opportunity, and I've always said, if there's opportunities, let me know. Like I'm up for it, right? There's a couple things I have to check, a couple boxes to make sure it makes sense. It's good for, whoever I'm working with. Does it make sense for that person? Like, is it something that'll help them? I always want to make sure it's not just like self-centered for me to come back and just get my own like a little cheap pop. It was my 25th anniversary, and we felt like, they've never had the opportunity to celebrate a woman being in the business for 25 years. And I thought that was really cool that they wanted to celebrate the 25 years. And so it was ideal. Yes, we looked at Toronto as sort of like, let's reverse engineer. Like this could be an opportunity. So it's kind of like, there could be an opportunity in Toronto. How do we reverse engineer and get you there? felt like Rumble was a good place to, like, you can kickstart anything with a Rumble, you can, and no one realized, which I loved, is like, just looked like a one-off. No one realized we were like planting the seeds with Naya and with Candace. I eliminated Candace, Naya eliminated me. That actually, paid off in the end, and it will now, is now with the match, and so I think that's, it felt like coming at like literally kick it off, coming at number 25, kick off your 25th anniversary, and like, we'll sprinkle you and see where it fits and where it makes sense, and where, like I said, my boxes are being checked. And
All right, Tiffany.
I always tell you this, and Bubba was backstage for the Rumble, and I say this too. I honestly go like, I just, before I agreed to a longer term, I was like, let's just get through the Rumble. For me, it's like, if I can't go back and like contribute 100%, like, I don't want to be like, she's really good, like, but she's slow now. Like I don't want to be good, but slower, good, or for an older person. I want to be like, I want to like be able to deliver 100%. So I was like, let's just do the Rumble. I wanted to make sure I could still go at the Rumble. And Bubba was backstage, and I was like, because I know he would tell me, I was like, you need to tell me, like, if I'm not, if it's like, oh, this is time to hang it up. And he was like, no, dude, that was great. Not to say I need Bubba's mark of approval, but I know that someone close to me would
You
tell me,
could
he
still
would.
go to your friends or people that'll say, yeah, you were the shits, or someone to
Yeah.
say you're great, because a lot of people don't have that in their lives.
Exactly. Right. And so it's like, I would have said, well, just end it here then. Cause you want to leave on a note, like, let's remember some good stuff here. Right. So the fact that, I can still contribute. And then, I go to my own, I have a practice ring. I've been, training there. And it's like, I literally watch my stuff back. And like the first time I go in, I always film my stuff. I do my highlight reel, I film it. And I go, let me see. And I always like, go like I look with one eye, like, think, is this going to suck? And I'm like, pretty good. Let's go. So as long as I keep going, and I've said this since I retired, if I can go to 100%, let's go.
Now, Trish Stratus is in her 25th anniversary tour. We're going to see her on Saturday at Elimination Chamber. And Trish, obviously a part of the WWE Hall of Fame, but there is a physical professional wrestling Hall of Fame, the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Albany, New York. There is an actual museum. The president of that Hall of Fame joins us now, Mr. Seth Turner. And Seth, I think you have some news for Trish, who joins us here on Busted Open. Go ahead, Seth.
Well, good morning, Tommy. Good morning to the TNT. Pow, 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 pow. And good morning. Good morning to Trish Stratus. Trish,
Yeah.
it is wonderful to
Hi.
see you again.
Good to see you again as well. Last time we were tracking down treasures. Oh my gosh.
That's right. And I'm glad you said that, Trish, because it should go on record that Trish Stratus was the first pro wrestler to come and visit our museum at the MVP Arena in Albany, New York, along with her bestie Lita, when they had come in August of 2022 to film Most Wanted Treasures. And it was a pleasure to have you at that point, Trish. And then you came back and visited 1 year later, a day after you'd been in Saudi Arabia against that mean old Becky Lynch, and she punched you in the face and left you with a terrible black and blue.
Yep.
And Trish came to visit with Kevin Owens, one of her other besties. And so she's been to the museum a few times. But Trish, I am here today for the express purpose to let you know that you are forever going to be enshrined into the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Miss Stratus. You are going to be getting inducted with the class of 2025. There will be a bronze plaque to immortalize your likeness. As you know, they hang in the Hall of Fame at the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. And we will be getting a nice new Hall of Fame ring crafted with your name on it to be given out in October of this year, October 12th to be specific. And we would like to formally let you know, Trish, that the Board of Trustees of the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame have selected Trish Stratus for the class of 2025.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much, Seth. I remember being in there. I was like, one day. That is so special. Seth, thank you so much. Please tell the board members thank you. And when am I checking my calendar? October? Let me check my calendar for October. That means so much to me. Oh, it like to be recognized by colleagues and people in the business, and that they acknowledge your career. It means so much. And I know we had that special connection when we were there. I appreciate it so much. And it's like, it's just a crazy part of my 25th anniversary. It just feels like such a full circle moment. Thank you so much. I am so excited about this. I can't wait. And I can't wait to go back. You guys got to go to the museum. It's the coolest thing you'll ever see. Like, it's a physical museum, like it has all these artifacts, and it's very awesome. And I'd love to give something to leave there. And I feel so honored. Thank you so much for this amazing privilege. Thank you.